Hi guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. I really appreciate you guys all watching. If you could hit the subscribe, that would be great, and a like would also be awesome. Today we're going to be watching a clip where these women are arguing with, what the hell is his name? Daniel? No, it's not Daniel. Forget his name, the guy from the whatever podcast. They're arguing with him, saying that men that like hairless women, so like women who shave their armpits, their legs, their pubes, are pedophiles. Yeah, try to figure that out. Okay, well, let's go through this together.
Or sorry, you'd look up to your dad and you're like, oh, I'm idolizing my dad. Do you see how crazy that sounds? That's like basically the argument I could make for women who want tall men. Women who want tall men are incestuous because they're trying to relive their childhood by finding a father figure.
Well, I mean, like, naturally, like, we are. I mean, if you, like, a little boy's first crush is his mom, like, naturally I'm not saying, like, I think my dad's attractive in that sense, but I'm saying, like, I hear that a lot, that little boys first, like, when they think of a woman, they look for their mom.
Yeah, I heard that too, and I actually did do that, and it was not a good idea. And I won't do that again.
That is something I've heard so many times.
But it would be, a woman wanting a tall guy would be me saying, you're incestuous and predatory for seeking out tall men to satisfy your perverse incestuous fantasy. Mm-hmm. Why can't women just want tall guys? Why can't men want women who are not promiscuous or who have a low body count? The big thing was apparently men who want women who shave their legs and their armpits or their pubic hair. Like, that is somehow like P word. Like, that's crazy. Well, it could just be a grooming thing. It could
obviously they could just be like a hygienic thing. Like, you want someone to be pretty.
Sorry, I'm about to bite this mic right now.
Why?
I'm really angsty.
Because of the conversation?
No, I'm just so bored right now, and I want.
Then engage in the conversation. I mean,
No, it's just like 11. I'm like, been in this room for 5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how long this is gonna go.
Well, I'm
spoken like a stereotypical 20-something-year-old. Oh my God. How does he deal with these women every podcast? Like, he must go into an isolation tank at the end of every one of these sessions and just like veg out for like a few hours and detox his brain. I don't understand how he does this.
Trying to wrap up here. We're going to get through the super chats, but okay. You good to hang tight for 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes?
It's going to be more than that, okay. Brian. Oh yeah, his name's Brian. Now I got it.
No, I was just saying, like, I don't really have a problem with guys saying preferences. That's not really an issue.
Okay.
He looks like a Brian too. Like, if I look at him, I'm like Brian with the beard. I don't know, Brian. He just looks like a Brian.
But you guys earlier on said a guy who wants a woman who shaves her body hair is like P word.
When I'm saying when a guy wants a woman, when not just like their body hairs, like obviously like your genitals are kind of different, but like when it comes to like you wanting a girl who's completely hairless, it's like a weird, like that's like a weird thing. Like, we're like naturally, like if we go back to what you were saying when you're like, men are like biologically or prehistorically like wanting that, like we're back then we had way more hair than we do now. So like, why now do you want a girl who's completely like no hair? Then you have to think back at it. When do you see people who have no hair? Kids are the ones who have like no body hair.
I mean,
that's literally how she got to her definition. She thought, okay, when do you see people with no hair? Children, they basically have no hair. Like babies have literally no hair, and then kids only have hair on their head. And then they develop it during puberty, they start getting hair. And that's how she got to that conclusion. Does that logic make sense to anybody else? Because to me, I'm like, I already know that men typically go for, like, the average age that men go for is 24, 25. Men like fully developed female bodies. They like fully developed boobs and ass and features. Maybe the hair thing, yeah, I give it to her. Like, they prefer to have somebody with less hair in general. I mean, there must probably some guys who like a hairy Italian lip or something, but I just don't get it. I feel like she's not thinking, you know what? She's thinking like a woman who's like 20-year-old and just thinking about her side and she's not thinking about what men are actually into. Because men are into TNA, and this, they ain't no TNA in like little kids, and pedos are very, very few. They're very few, so I do not buy her bullshit at all.
That's a reach.
It's not really a reach. There's
It's
lots
a
of
reach.
research done on that about how that's a very
There are plenty
thing.
of practical
Research
reasons for why
done?
men want women who like don't have leg hair, don't have armpit hair,
Well, that's
don't like
different.
shave down
Like,
their
I'm
like
talking about
for
guys who,
comfort
like, say,
reasons,
like,
for hygienic
they don't want
reasons.
girls
I want to know what research she thinks has been done to show that men who like women who have less body hair or very little body hair are pedophiles. Let her show her facts. Show it, girls. Show all the research that you know about that shows that they're pedos.
with arm hair, or like they don't want girls with like a hair on their spot of the body, and that happens. Like,
She's going like this, like she's saying they don't want a hairy mustache. Like, no, we don't want a freaking hairy mustache because that reminds us of like a man. We want you to be the opposite of a man.
there's guys out there who want that.
And there's women that don't like guys with back hair.
I think what he's saying is that most guys with a good head on their shoulders, they're not going to be out in public and see a kid or a child and be like, I want my girl to look like that. Like, no guy is thinking that. It's just their personal preference for hygiene. But I see where you're coming from, but I also know what he's saying, where it's like no guy in their right mind is going to see a kid and be like, that's my ideal girlfriend. Like,
Just sitting at the school park, at the schoolyard park. So I'm like, oh my God. I'm sure there's pedos that do that though. I shouldn't even joke about this. Okay, this is a bad joke. I'm not gonna continue.
Well, yeah, obviously not. I think it's a very subconscious like thing that you don't even realize you're doing. That's
No,
why
it's
I feel
not. No, it's not subconsciously p word for men
like
who
it's
want
some
women.
like some like you. It's been kind of like engraved into our society. Like, it's not like something that you're like, oh, I know I'm searching for someone who looks like a child, but it's like what the standards have built or like what is wanted. A lot of times it can be like childlike features.
Childlike features? Hold on. Like the whole hair thing in our society, that's something that's kind of recent, right? Because if you think about the like pornography in the 70s, like they had hairy bushes and stuff. I feel like it's gotta be like maybe in the 80s or 90s they started shaving all that stuff. So that's like a societal thing where it shifted for whatever reason. When we all started being pedos just recently, like it was just 30, 40 years ago, we're all just decided, we're like, yeah, we're all the kids now. And then this whole thing of childlike features, I guess in some cultures or some people find that attractive. Men don't like small boobs, man. They want bigger boobs. I mean, they don't want like flat-chested women in general. Come on, this is so stupid. I mean, I think she's thinking of like these anime girls where they get surgeries done to look like anime girls with like the big eyes and whatever. Like there are people who do weird things. I just feel like this is the exception, not the rule. Like,
You know, like little dainty things, little girly things that like it's like then that's kind of like near childlike things. It's a little
Like
interesting.
the schoolgirl trope.
Like there's like certain like little things that do have to go down with like pedophilia.
Bro, it's so ridiculous to say that men who prefer their women who groom themselves, who don't have
I'm
like
not
who shave
saying,
their
like,
leg hair,
they're like,
that's so just absurd.
obviously it's not like all men are like thinking like that. I'm just saying there's certain things that you don't even realize that lead back to that.
No, men who, it's not even a subconscious thing. It's not subconscious for a guy to prefer a woman who grooms herself and shaves her legs. Like I don't.
Well,
it's
like
kind of like a girl saying that she's into a guy who's super skinny and looks like he's on his deathbed is like saying she's into like fucking dead people. Like
Celine Dion marrying that old guy.
that's like along the lines of you guys trying to say that like no, this is like along if you're saying that a guy who's into girls with no body hair, like nothing, it's the P word. I'm not gonna say the
I'm
word,
not saying
I
that's like
guess.
outlandish straight pedophilia.
The
I'm
P
just saying like when there's certain little things that we have been okay with that you can look back at and be like, where did we get that whole idea of that's attractive, that's what we want? Where does that stem from? Where does
It's
that
always
start?
been the media. It's been
yes,
the media.
and the media has pushed this like underage type thing being very sexualized and being like,
What?
Let me go check this. Let me see if I can find something. Where did this come from? Well, this is interesting. American beauty standards and practices for women were also affected by the innovation and marketing of the safety razor. Beginning in the early 20th century, manufacturers of the safety razors, seeking to expand their market, promoted the idea that body hair on women is inherently masculine and indelicate, as well as unhygienic. Gillette introduced the first razors marketed specifically to women called the Milady Delcolette, whatever. In 1920s, the new fashion for sleeveless tops and shorts dresses meant that the legs and armpits of American women were now visible in social situations, and advertisers seized the opportunity to encourage women to shave their legs and their armpits. Because the term shaving was associated with masculine facial hair practices, marketers were careful to not use that term in their advertising. Rather, they encouraged women to make their arms and armpits smooth. Likewise, razors were not marketed to women for facial hair removal. Instead, women with facial hair were offered products to bleach, wax, or dissolve facial hair. Okay, this is interesting. So it is a marketing thing. And then we've all just sort of bought into it, and we're just like, well, yeah, women shouldn't have hair because it's masculine. Shit, so have we all been just played into this marketing shit, and now we're all just like, yeah, women shouldn't have hair. They literally marketing changed our whole society. What the F?
I'm what?
No, I'm saying like models, like modeling things on the internet, or like.
Hold on. I just got interrupted. Okay. So you think that men who want women who shave their legs or their pubic area or their underarms is a either subconscious
I
or
think
conscious
they're really
pedophilic.
like stuck on the whole shaving their hair thing, because I don't think it's like, I'm just saying that that's one thing that goes along with many other things that adds to the fact that there is like underlining pedophilia within like what people romanticize. I'm not saying like you are a pedophile, you are going to go look for a child. I'm saying when you look back at it, like when it's underlining, it's not something that you obviously know you're doing. You don't.
I want to just open it up to some of the other girls on the panel. So you were shaking your head in agreement that there's undertones of pedophilia if a guy prefers women who shave.
No, I was on to her. I think that's an aspect of it, but you're stuck on just that.
Can you tilt your mic down towards you like that?
There's a whole other examples she's brought up. That's just part of it, of men who want women to be hairless, not just their genitals and their legs, but like completely hairless like a doll, or like have like these childlike pout features and like big eyes that look up, like the doe eye look. That is like a childlike look.
Okay, but we're talking about hair. You're bringing in these other factors.
Well, because you're just thinking about the hair. That was one example she gave.
That was precisely what we were talking about. So
I feel like they're going down this rabbit hole of like, there's a very small amount of men who are like that, and then they're like stuck on it. Like all men are like that, and that's what's happened. This is a dumbass conversation.
I would ask, do you think it's wrong for a guy to want a girl who shaves or who doesn't have hair on her legs, or
but you're
like
not
shaves
really
her
like,
legs?
I don't know why
you're getting stuck on just this one aspect she was talking about. That's not the only thing we're saying.
I'm not
you're
saying
spinning
that's
it to
wrong.
make it to
Okay,
say look like that's what we're saying.
Let's make that the confines. Make that the confines of the conversation, because I do want to like try to arrive. We can have conversations about those other things, time permitting, but I'll try to avoid that. I'm asking specifically, when it comes to body hair, a man who prefers a woman with less body hair, say armpits, pubic area, legs, maybe he prefers a woman who shaves. Are you asserting that men who have that preference are in some way, are you pathologizing it to the point where it's pedophilic?
I'm not saying that one thing makes you a pedophile.
But okay, I'm narrowing the conversation to just that one thing, because
it's a whole. All of these preferences go into that one thing.
Stay on course. I'm talking about the hair thing specifically. We can go all over the place here. I'm speaking about one thing, just answer the question. Why don't you want to answer
Wait,
the
what
question?
was the question?
They don't want to answer the question because it's a stupid ass question, and they realize that they're wrong, and the way you're asking it sounds dumb, and they realize that, so they don't want to answer the damn question. That's why, because this is a dumbass conversation right now.
Okay, if a guy wants a girl who doesn't shave her legs, or sorry, excuse me, if a guy wants a girl who shaves her legs, shaves her pubic area, armpits, do you think that there are pedophilic undertones?
No, because what I was saying is I don't think that's wrong. I was saying I
But
think it's wrong when a guy wants a completely hairless girl, where it's like no hair on their arms.
We're shifting
no
the
hair.
goalposts here.
No,
We're
I
shifting the
feel like
goalposts.
Oh my
girls,
God.
like, for example, me, I don't know if this is TMI to put out there. I shave everything, and that's my personal hygienic preference. And then if I find a guy who likes that of me, I feel like, I mean, I did it for
But do you think it's unhygienic that men don't shave?
I mean, I think it's all up to their preference. I would prefer that a guy shaved and kept up with
Shaved
himself.
his legs and armpits and everything?
There are plenty of women that like are turned off by guys with like back hair. Like women have hair preferences too.
But this like overarching thing that's pushed onto women of you need to shave your legs, armpits, and genitals.
Well, we just found out what that is. Well, not the genitals part, but the legs and armpits and whatever. That's because of the marketing campaign from the 1915, 1920s. Gillette trying to sell razors to women and get more market share. And as well, they developed sleeveless dresses and shorter dresses so that you could see legs and arms. So that's marketing.
Men shave down there too, but go ahead.
They don't shave everything. There's like
Sure, it's different.
I mean, again, what we were saying is not that if a guy likes that you shave your legs, he's a pedophile. We're saying it's part of an entirely overarching, underlying view.
I've had enough of this conversation. This conversation is retarded. I'm done. I just can't. It's gonna go on for another like few minutes and I'm gonna go crazy. So instead of that happening, I will save us all that time. And I mean, I laid it out earlier. Literally, we looked it up. It had to do with marketing, except for the pube thing. I don't know how that started. But the arms, the armpits, and the legs is marketing. So we all got played by marketing. So I mean, make your decisions, folks. Do you want to keep playing into it or not? Even though it started this way, it's actually resulted in a good thing. Who's to say? Alright, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you again next time.